Movie Club podcast. My name's Dan Hughes, and with me, as always, is the Thunder from Down Under. It's Mr. Lee Sargent. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Dan, and you're looking awfully animated today.
I am. I'm all enthusiastic and excited because I'm talking to you, Lee, and there's nothing.
Well,
there's
you
nothing
are,
I prefer.
but you are talking to me, of course, via Google Hangout.
Yes.
Which is very exciting for us because it's something new that we're trying. So you may or may not be able to see video for this. We don't know whether or not that's going to work or not. It's really exciting for us, though, because it really comes full circle. Because when we first started the Midnight Movie Club, it was because we were excited about Google Wave, and we were having conversations on Google Wave, and we said, hey, we should write this down, all this stuff down, and put it in a blog, and we did.
Because we're that interesting. We are.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Everyone must listen to us and listen to all
our opinion on Moonraker at the time was stunning, and then I think 2 or 3 goes of that, we went, right, maybe we should just podcast, and we did that, and then yeah, so we're kind of full circle now. And originally, when we used to podcast, we used to be able to see each other because we wanted to do it so that we wouldn't talk over each other, so there was visual cues. And then, of course, Dan just is so rude and everything. He used to talk over me all the time.
That's
so
it. And Lee turned up naked a few times, and it just got too much.
Things got a little bit steamy, so we had to stop the video. But we have signed agreements from everyone that everyone's clothes will be reasonably on. I won't stand up because I'm just not going to do that.
On for the purposes of the podcast, anyway. That's the the agreement.
Well, it's the morning, so for me, so I'm still in kind of my pajama things going on. I'm halfway dressed. I go up here. I'm ready to go out and deal with people. Downstairs, not so ready to deal with anything.
No, business at the top. Party down the below. Yeah. That's basically
not even a party. It'd be a pretty sad party at this point. It's just boxer shorts and such.
Party.
Ouch! That hurts, man. See, you can see the hurt on my face now. So this is and it's a bit of a return for us too, because this podcast is actually based around a movie. Shock horror.
Yes. Yes.
One movie.
One movie. That's correct. Yes.
Which we haven't done for a little.
I've lost you briefly. I'm over on Facebook trying to point people in the direction of this live cast. So give me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought we weren't going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
I don't know. You can do it, but you don't have to.
Okay.
But if anyone does want to see it, they certainly can. I assume everyone in Australia would be going to work at this stage. So
that's right. I've already invited Colin, but he said no, he couldn't come.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's probably got work to go to.
He's in the queue at the bank. He's in a queue at the bank, he says.
Well, he's got a mobile phone. He's got 3G. He should be streaming it for everyone in the bank. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
You don't need to see this.
Those information things where they say cashier.
It's potentially a disaster. So we will still be doing the audio version, of course. Dan's apparently recording the audio. I don't know. There's some sort of thing that he's doing there. But yeah. So Dan, what's going on in your geeky world right now?
Well, in my geeky world, I am a number of things. I'm heavily into board games at the moment. We've had a bit of a. I can see you shaking your head there. Had a bit of a conversation about this on Facebook. I'm heavily into board games at the moment. It's only for this week, but I've already spent about £50 on them. But it's only for this week, and I'm sure the interest will wane. But they're good at board games, Lee. They're called Euro games, or German-style games, some of them call them. And they're kind of for grown-ups. Like Settlers of Catan is the kind of most famous one, and there's all sorts of other ones. And I played one with my... Go on.
There's a Star Trek Catan.
No, I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. I was quite impressed with that. Well, when I say I was impressed, I saw it. Let's just leave it at that. Actually, I think my wife pointed it out to me, and she did it in that way. Yeah, well, see, we were in one of these like we tried out a new shopping centre, which was we're creatures of habit. We don't like kind of going out and doing weird stuff and going out to new places, but we did, and there was a I don't know, it was like a board game / pop culture stuff / I don't know, old figurines they couldn't flog in Toy World. So eventually they sent them over to them and said, "Hey, they're kitschy."
A geek shop. It was a geek shop.
A geek shop. We'll say that, yeah. So at this stage, the new shopping centre had freaked us out enough that I was looking for anything which was familiar, and saw this shop, and I said, "Oh, okay, cool. Trace, come and have a look at this." And then, okay, something weird's happened.
Yeah, it's Colin.
Wow.
Hello, Colin. I can't hear him.
Start work, so I'll hello and say goodbye again.
Oh, hello. Goodbye.
Hello.
You've interrupted the podcast, man.
Yeah. You're like live and everything from the bank. What's it like at the bank today?
What's that? The bank? Oh, it was terrible. Only one person serving. I hate that.
Yeah. Those people at the bank. Cool.
Yeah. Unless of course they like the podcast, and then those people at the bank, yay!
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I don't know how. Obviously, this kind of inviting people means to just crash in, Lee. We're gonna have to work out some way of keeping the riffraff out.
Yeah, we shouldn't is what you're trying to say there.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm gonna mute Colin because he's there. He can't even speak now. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. We can point at his glasses. Oh, he's gone. Anyway.
Yeah. I would go too after that shabby treatment.
He's no better than
Here
I
he is
am,
at the
gets.
bank. It's the future of technology. He can podcast from the bank, and we're
Exactly.
we're mocking him and just going, get on out of there, Colin.
Yeah.
Now my story, so I was in the geek shop. Trace had actually gone in the geek shop with me, which was nice. And she didn't look disgusted, 100%. It was only a little bit mild disgust as she kind of walked around the store. And then she pointed it out. She pointed out she went, "Oh, look at that! It's a Star Trek kind of board game." And I looked at it and went, "I don't understand this thing at all." So, and look, now we've got more people. Why were you inviting? This isn't going to be hard enough.
I'm not inviting
Just you and I. It's hard enough you and I doing it.
They're just turning up.
And
Lee.
now
They're very
there's
rude.
Iams. Yeah.
Hello, Iam.
Hi. Hi.
He's in the dark or something. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The camera's down.
Oh, he's got his camera down his pants, Lee.
It's a family orientated podcast.
Iam,
God,
disgusting,
the Dutch
man.
with their Dutchness.
It's all these rude Dutch people. They'll be
I
showing
know.
us his drugs next.
Dutch things. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Americans. They've got really good drugs. We just condone it.
It makes about as much sense as he usually does without the videos, so I'm happy about that.
This is a shambles, Lee.
It is a shambles. You're the one who did this. You invited these people.
I didn't know
invite
they'd just turn
anyone.
in. I thought they'd just be able to watch. I didn't know they'd start showing up.
One person. Still.
No, you're not the only one, are you? Don't feel like you're the only one.
I only see you two.
Yeah. Well, we can see. No, yeah, but they've gone. We've kicked them off already.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still here.
And then we had you here, and it's like, well,
I do have the ability to eject him, Lee. I've got the ability to eject. I'm hovering over the button now.
Before you eject him, I do have to tell him something, though, because I got very excited at the supermarket the other day. All my stories this week are going to be supermarket related. I was in the supermarket, and we actually have a Dutch section of the supermarket where there are freaky deaky Dutch things for sale.
What do they sell?
These chocolate sprinkle things.
Yeah, they are awesome.
And Jaffa cake things. Like there's this orange chocolate cake thingies from Dutchland. I don't know. And there's things in jars that terrified me. They look like things which are pickles, which I didn't. I wasn't. But I took a photo, so I'll share the photo. I was very excited.
That does sound very exciting.
Yeah, the supermarket staff thought I was a bit weird, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I was very excited. I'm dancing in the aisle, going, "Oh my god, I am!" And they're like, "We have no idea what he's. Please leave the store." So I can't go shopping there anymore. Thanks very much.
Was there an English section?
You're welcome.
Yeah, there's not an English. Well, it's all English because we're English speaking here in Australia. There is a Mexican section, but it's taken up with purely kind of western
People just
versions
going,
of Mexico.
Arriba!
It's very fast, that area.
Yeah.
I'm not as comfortable being racist with video.
Especially seeing as though we can't edit it. Your usual racist diatribes are...
Yep.
My dog's going bananas. It's trying to get to my lantern. That's the other thing I've been doing this week. Lee, I've been making lanterns. I'm going to show you my lantern now. Ready? This is exciting.
Here we go. Okay, avert your eyes, children.
Okay, can you see that lantern? There.
All I can see is Ayam's head.
It's a lantern there. Anyway. Oh no! I've shown you my messy house. I got informed not to show messy house.
Okay, not show your messy house.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna eject Ayam.
No,
yeah, get rid of him. He's got nothing for us.
Go on, piss off, Ayam. Go on.
All kind of orange stuff.
Yeah,
I might mute him.
Mute him. Get rid of him.
I'll mute him. You can watch it. You can watch Ayam, but you can't speak. There you go. Oh, dog, give up. He's trying to get my lantern. It's a disaster.
This is going to replace television, guys.
This is the future right now.
Yeah.
I just got muted and unmuted.
Oh, God!
Ah!
Stop it.
That's gold. So what happened? Okay, so
I'll just leave because you just only just mute me.
yeah, I know it's offensive, isn't it? I
am.
Yeah, that's. Oh, he's been kicked out completely. Jeez, this is cold. How many more people did you invite?
I just put that link on Facebook. That's all. I didn't know they'd all turn up and could speak.
No, see, I can't hear you. I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you because you got too excited then, and now your microphone's all over the place. So, yeah, we were talking about. Hello. Yeah, so you were talking about Catan before we were rudely interrupted by people you invited.
Yeah, well, I wasn't actually talking about Catan because I haven't.
Well, you mentioned it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like Catan, is what I'm saying. It's like Catan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good story, Dan. Good story.
I've just been playing board games. Oh, here he comes with the sound
That's
effects.
what I did there. I used the sound effect. We have sound effects too, people. So that's going to be overused a lot.
Yeah, you're going to get very tired of that very quickly.
Very, very quickly. That's fair enough. But we've wanted sound effects for such a long time, so it's it's pretty exciting for us.
Yeah, I've actually got it loaded up. I'll have to load it up.
Yeah, so the Google Hangout thing, it's working so far for us, so we'll see how it kind of goes.
The sound quality is a little bit worse than Skype, but it's tolerable, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So yeah, your board games. You were going somewhere with your board game story.
No, I wasn't. No, I was just saying I've been playing board games. That's all. And I've been watching Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but that's not going to go anywhere either. So yeah.
What do you mean it's not going anywhere?
That's all I have to say about it.
Do you like it?
I do. I do like it.
Let's do the review aspect of our show, shall we?
Well, I keep watching the same episodes over and over again.
I'll watch the movie.
Kind of getting distracted.
Yeah.
What have you been doing geek-wise? You've been watching something. Is it called Utopia?
Oh yeah, it's a British show. You shouldn't watch it.
I don't watch
disturbing
TV anymore.
Well, Utopia. It's actually it's some of the best television I've seen for a long time. It's very, very clever. It's unflinching in that it shows there's torture in it, and there's violence, and there's events that happen in it which are just they're very confronting, but they're not done in a gratuitous way. They're not done to kind of exploit. It is done in a matter of it actually does work type of thing. So yeah, I highly recommend Utopia. It's only 6 episodes. That's what I love about British series is that they don't stuff around unless of course it's Sherlock, and then they only do 3 episodes, and who knows when season 3 will be coming out. Apparently, because this is the thing.
The actors are too popular, aren't they? Look, I've got a Sherlock T-shirt on.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like it.
Well, you see, whereas I'm not a billboard for people. So,
no, well, I am.
Well, yeah, I'm superior.
Sherlock,
I'm just saying.
What's Sherlock?
Yeah, watch it. That's what I did. I followed your advice. Watch Sherlock because I've been watching Elementary and loving it. And it's, everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta watch Sherlock too. It's brilliant." And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. We thought it was brilliant. We really enjoyed it. I don't know if I enjoyed it more than Elementary though. I think the two don't really compare.
No, I agree.
Like, I think they're two separate shows completely. So,
Yeah.
It's disaster over there. I'm the one with the cold too, so my voice doesn't. If you think that it may be Google Hangouts changing my voice slightly, it's not, because I've got the horrible man flu that I'm in the tail end of right now. This is the dangerous period where you feel good, and then for the last second it just jam it into you and your lung will fall out or something like that.
You're slight hypochondriac, actually. That's my
No, man flu. There's scientific evidence that says men have the flu worse than women. So
it's true. Worse than childbirth.
Oh, that's what they're saying, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Isn't there endorphins that go to make women forget that childbirth is awful?
Something like that.
Well, you don't forget the man flu.
They haven't got the same kind of neural pathways we have. They've got a lot fewer neural pathways. That's what it is.
Well, no, it just goes, you know what, brain, because otherwise no one would ever have kids again. Let's just make it you forget how awful it was. Whereas man flu, you don't forget how awful it was. Like next week, I'll be on. Remember last week when I had man flu? That was bloody awful. Every little, because and Trace will be able to tell you kind of every single minute that's gone by with the man flu, because I like to relay that to her. I like to tell her how awful I feel every minute.
I think it's your duty. It's your duty to tell her. She needs to be kept informed, just in case she needs to ring the emergency services.
Yeah, well, I don't want her to do that because she threatens that shit too. She goes, if you're feeling that bad, we should call a doctor. Oh, no, doctor. I don't need a doctor. I'll just I'll have some more orange juice. I'll be right. And so there you go.
Good.
So that man flu, and I've been watching Clone Wars.
Okay.
I'm almost caught up to where everyone else is, and I really love the show. I just think it's really fantastic. We've got more people joining us, Dan.
I know. I should never invite these people.
No.
It's Justin.
Yeah.
Hello, Justin.
Hello, Justin.
He's not there. He's just watching with his beady eye.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be off-putting anyway. So Clone Wars, I've been really enjoying Clone Wars. I think it's actually superior to the three prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard some Star Wars news. I mean, it's getting a bit tiring now already. All this Star Wars rumors and stuff. It's like, good God, is this what we're going to have until 2015 or whatever? Because it's going to get really grim. But and
then it's like you're going to have like 15 films.
Yeah, exactly.
So every day is a new Star Wars film.
That's it. You have a new Ewok
It's the
film.
origin of Greedo.
Yeah.
Because these little kids shooting at stuff like at random directions. And I want some adult saying to Greedo, never become a bounty hunter's son because you've got the aim of, you've got very bad aim.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't know. I was trying to think. You've got the aim of a banther, but I don't know if banthers shoot at stuff too often. So I don't know.
But Lucas was saying that if they don't cast the original actors for the roles, then they won't use the characters. So, for example, if they don't cast Mark Hamill as a Luke, then they won't use Luke. And similar with Han Solo.
But you know what Disney said though? Disney went, well, we've got a bunch of that says that we will use anyone we want. Exactly.
We've got Miley Cyrus heading in the wings. She hasn't done anything since Hannah Montana. She's going to be the new Han Solo. I don't think Lucas got any creative control over it anyway, has he? As far as I'm aware.
No, I thought that I think he's a consultant now, but I don't think that. I think once they hand you a check that large, I think you've signed off basically. So.
Yeah. That's not me.
I think you're going to have to mute or...
Okay, hang on.
Yep.
Mute. There we go. Oh, this dog's driving me bananas. Leave it alone.
This is what you have. See with my cat, who's behind me somewhere.
I saw him moving.
God.
He moved at one point.
He's very well behaved. So.
Oh, little dog. Get down.
Sod off.
Dog.
Oh, good. RSPCA, your new listeners to the podcast. We'd like to welcome.
I want to this a comedy routine where it said dogs are for adverts. So it's like, come on, dog, come on, dog, come on, dog. Oh, now fuck off. The TV started again. It's like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. That's how I use my dog. It's just entertainment for the adverts makes.
Now, some of the other news, non-dog related. The PS4 was announced.
Yes, the PS4 was announced.
I'm so excited because what they've done is basically they've taken the PS3, which came after the PS2,
Yeah.
which came after the PS, and they've gone, you know what we're going to call the next one? PS4.
Well, it's better than
It's stunning.
it's better than Xbox 375/89 or
You see,
whatever they're going to call it.
yeah, they really jumped the gun there a little bit. What number should we go to? 360.
That's it. That's it. I can't remember.
What will be the next one? Xbox 1000. That's like the T1000 in Terminator. That's a terrible numbering system for the, because like it's gone. You know, there's a T800, and already they've jumped. There have been 800 different models before this one, and then there's the T1000, and they're like, oh, you know, T1001.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I think the
And
thing
it's got
that
better graphics.
it's not backwards compatible though, which a lot of people
No.
are a bit grumpy about, which I can certainly
Yeah.
see. And the risk with these new consoles is that they're going to try and kind of phase out the secondary game market, which I think will shoot them in the foot personally. I mean, fair enough, they want to make more money off people buying new games, but a lot of people like me only have a console so they can buy the majority of second-hand games and then one or two new ones. So I wouldn't bother getting a new console.
Well, my big problem is, and I'm definitely not the target audience because I don't like playing online gaming. I'm not.
Me
my
neither.
internet's not good enough.
And I'm
to make a
shit
really
at
good
games as well. That's the other thing.
Well, there is that. There is that. But yeah, I just kind of, I really, so I like the campaign games. That's why I was so disappointed with Call of Duty, the last Call of Duty game, because you play the campaign game on your own for about 3 minutes and you're done.
Yeah.
You know, where it's really designed for the multiplayer game, and that's fine. You know, but I'm just not that audience. And the new PlayStation, from what I saw of the footage of the 16-hour launch video type of thing, is they've got the share button and they've got all this stuff, so you can have your friends looking over your shoulder apparently virtually, and I'm like, I'm not even comfortable with this, let alone when I'm playing a game. I don't want someone telling me I'm going down the wrong corridor.
Exactly. Yeah. And watching me fail and die several times at Lego Lord of the Rings or something like that.
There's nothing worse than watching me play a zombie game and watching me creep down a goddamn hallway, a centimetre per hour, flinching. You don't need to see that. And it doesn't even have to be a zombie game. It just needs to be zombie-esque. Like Uncharted, there's sequences in the first Uncharted where you're in like a old Nazi bunker type of thing. It's dark down there. And my natural inclination would be just to leave the bunker. You haven't found whatever treasure you need to find at the end of the day. That's fine. I don't need the treasure that much. Not if it's at the end of the zombie, infested Nazi
I'll just stay
bunker.
here at the start point. I'll just hang out
I'm
here.
going to stand on the beach.
Yeah,
and it's where I can see everything coming at me, type of thing. I don't need to walk down. I don't need to go looking for the zombie. Maybe I'll stand outside and make a lot of noise to see if the zombies will come out. And if too many come out, then I'll stop making the noise. But I've got other plans. Like that's what I'm hoping that this next generation console can do, is really open gaming up so that it's a matter of I've got other options. So it's like Killzone type of thing, and the aliens are coming at you to kill you. I negotiate. I want the negotiate button.
Play them at Tetris.
Come on, guys! Stop shooting, man! It's uncool. Let's talk about our border treaties. I want a different way of doing it. Got to crawl through this sewer type of thing. Can't I just get captured and then taken in that way, and then I'll just break out or something? I'm not brave.
No, not even in computer games, which is pretty pathetic.
It is. It's really terrible. I don't know. I really get into it. So I just I guess computer games are really great for me simply because I really do immerse myself in them. I get that experience out of them. I get the terror of kind of wandering around the jungle or whatever, which is probably great. But it's not so good when you're playing like Resident Evil or something like that.
No. I had to stop.
I don't need to know how this ends.
I had to stop playing XCOM because I got too upset when people kept dying.
Oh, XCOM, yeah. That's true actually too, and you get really shitty with it too. I mean, that's probably a sign of a good feature of a game. But it's like Lieutenant, whoever gets killed, you're like, no, stupid, shut it down. I'm not playing anymore.
That's it. Yeah. Plus, I never used to say very often because I'm an idiot.
Well,
Yeah.
I actually, with XCOM, I had the same problem I had with the original XCOM in that it just became tedious.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's the same thing over and over again. I just
exactly
like,
the same
yeah,
with me.
I love the
fed up with it.
concept, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. They need to mix it up
So
a
I
bit.
don't know what else we've been doing geek-wise. That's probably around it, actually.
We both
Watching
made
a
the
lot of
jump
Clone
to.
Wars.
You said that already. We both made the jump to get glue as opposed to go miso.
Yes.
We should mention
Yes.
that if anyone's
Yes.
thrilled to follow us on either of those things and see how much or how little we watch on television, follow us on Get Glue now, which you can probably find somehow. Don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you could do a search in that Google machine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, hang on. So we're mentioning Google, so I better put on the Google. I don't even know why they would include that.
Oh, Google hat. Yeah.
I've got a Google hat.
I thought you were going to do a.
Yeah, I don't even know why they include that.
I think it's cool. I think it's very clever.
No, I think it's very clever. I just I don't. You can't really be doing a serious podcast and then just stick the Google logo on your forehead,
Well,
can you?
this isn't always for serious podcasts, is it? See,
I guess not. I mean, unlike ours, of course.
I haven't installed it because I'm just afraid it's going to crash and it'll throw me into a hissy fit.
So I'm the sole purveyor of sound effects at this point.
Sound effects, and I'm installing it now.
Oh,
I don't want to leave
that's a
you in control of all the sound effects and silly hats.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand that. Now, so I guess we would talk about the movie that we watched this.
Yeah.
We watched. I watched a little while ago. What?
Well, I said, what turn up for the books?
I know. Oh, sorry. I thought you mentioned books. I thought, are we going to start talking about literary stuff? Because I know you've been reviewing a lot of books on your website. That's
I have been reviewing. I've got a quest to read one book every 2 weeks on this year.
Are you? And you're on Goodreads, aren't you? You're on Goodreads? Yeah.
Yep.
I love Goodreads, actually. I'm really surprised how much I really enjoy it.
It's exploded, apparently. Goodreads is one of the social networks that it's like tripled in membership over 3 months type thing. It's got millions of people on it now.
I think the power of them is the fact that they connect to so much. So it's just easier for me to go to Goodreads and say, I'm reading this book type of thing, and then have it send it out to all my networks rather than going onto Twitter and saying, hashtag reading a book, hashtag isn't that good, and then jumping onto Facebook and going, hey guys, I'm reading a book, and no one responds to me on Facebook. So
yeah.
Well, no one reads my blog anyway, so
no, exactly. No one reads mine at all. Ever.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But fortunately, we don't know how much people will be listening or watching this from here.
Well, we'll know how much it'll be watching because it'll be on YouTube, so we'll be able to get viewers.
Oh, it'll be on the YouTube.
It'll be on the YouTube.
Well, see, I was thinking I might even cut up the video and put some of it on the Facebook too.
On the Facebook as well. Marvelous.
Yeah, a little bit of
that sounds
best of
very
both worlds
exciting.
for everyone. So yeah. So anyway, the film we watched was Flight of the Navigator, which is
Flight of the Navigator.
Massive favourite of Dan's, and I'd only ever seen it. Well, I'd only ever seen it once, apparently.
I've seen this so many times. In fact, while I was watching it, I could recite it. Although, kind of jumping straight into it, I didn't remember the setup being so long.
Yeah, well,
and being so subtle. To be honest. And I'm not complaining about that as from an adult point of view because it was beautifully done. Beautifully done. The setup it made me cry at least on 2 occasions.
Hey, look, I can do facial expressions and mock you. Sorry.
It did make me cry. It made me cry at the end, and it made me cry in the middle. And it was a wonderfully set up piece of work, and the characters were drawn exceptionally well. It was really good. But the bit that I remember from my youth was only half an hour long. It was only the last third of the film, the bit with kind of Pee Wee Herman in it, doing the voice of the spaceship. And the rest of it was all set up, and it was a wonderful setup as well. It was a very good concept. I don't know if you feel the same thing.
This is the thing. For me, this film, if you edited out Pee Wee Herman, this is a strong science fiction film for any age.
Yeah.
I think like, and you know I'm not a fan of Pee Wee Herman anyway, so it's, you know, but that voice is just so irritating, and it's just so grating on me that it took this really clever science fiction movie and brought it down to this cheap kind of kiddie crap type of stuff, in my
that's
opinion.
a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, no, just that sequence, that's the thing.
I like Pee Wee Herman, so...
that's the thing.
That's the bit I remember fondly from my youth as well. So I suppose I had the nostalgia thing going on there. But I can see where you're coming from. But the first half of the film is very strong sci-fi.
The first half of the film, and I really love, and I've got my notes here, so if it looks like I'm just kind of looking at my desk and ignoring Dan, I'm not. I'm actually reading my notes because I have no memory. I really like the frisbee kind of scenes at the start, the misdirection of that, and and it happens throughout the kind of the start, because you see I think there's a water tower at one stage and there's stuff like that, and it's all misdirections to, this is a UFO film, but so here's all these hints towards UFO, and then we'll reveal the UFO, but we don't reveal it at the same time. The actual abduction and return is done so well because it's it's disorientating for both of us, for the character and for the audience, because they don't break. They never give an indication that it happened. And so what happens is, it's one scene he's in the forest, and then there's no break in that whatsoever. He just tries to go home, and everything. So we were never given a point where it goes, but we're now in, the future type of thing. There was never a point of that. There was actually, we just follow the kid, and for his perspective is that he never sees the future. He never sees the spaceship. Our perspective follows that. And that's really very clever, very good filmmaking, and really well done. And I admit I was, because it's old. It's an old film as it is, so it's 80s anyway. But then you're actually taking the film back even further because it's set in the 70s. Yeah. So you're looking at the flares and all that type of stuff. And a frisbee contest, what a national frisbee dog.
National dog frisbee.
They survived past the 70s.
I think they. Well, yeah, I think so.
Do you think there's a 2013 dog champion of catching
Flyball,
frisbees?
Man. Flyball. I don't know if you've ever seen flyball, but it's not frisbees, it's tennis balls. But that's a national sport.
That's not the same
in the
thing.
UK.
That's not the same thing.
Well,
and seriously, there will be a film featuring that, and someone will be reviewing it 30 years from now going, is flyball still a thing, really? And they'll have some other hologram thing that dogs catch. It's just... I really like the dad in this. I don't know why. Has he done anything else?
I don't know. I was just looking at the kid. I thought the kid was very, very strong as well. Joey Kramer.
He was.
He never did much else at all. But he was an exceptionally strong and believable character, I thought, and not annoying like most kids were.
There was one line though in the forest where the kid's kind of talking to the dog, and he says he doesn't know what he wants out of life.
Yeah,
I was like, you're 12 or 13.
Well, I suppose that's the point, isn't it? That it was meant to be funny.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, he hasn't done anything. He guest starred on Star Trek Deep Space Nine as reporter Charlie Palmer. So there you go. so other than that, no, nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. You see, you can't do that on video, man.
What?
Because no one wants to watch you just reading the internet. It's bad enough listening to you just reading the internet.
Well, you asked me what you'd done before.
I thought you might knew.
Well, yeah.
So I don't ask you just because I don't think you're the Google machine. Yeah. When I ask you a question, I think there'll be times that you won't be able to answer, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I like how in the movie where the UFO actually gets recovered, that NASA gets called in.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's bullshit.
The most sinister agency they could think of, it's NASA.
Yeah. It's like, NASA.
Yeah.
The government's like, NASA has stuff we'll do with space. Let's bring them in. And it's like, no, they wouldn't bring those poor bastards in. Like, they're who they should ring. Like, they should ring NASA because NASA, I assume, have NASA scientists. Thus, putting the word NASA with scientists. But they wouldn't. It'd be like just Black Ops helicopters and,
that's
like... Like E.T., it'd be like the E.T. guys showing up and putting a bag over it and just going, right, let's just take it home type of thing. And that poor cop who found it, they'd be shooting him. You know, that's what it really would have been. He'd disappear from...
Yeah. Instead of having 3 fat security guards guarding this alien spacecraft, it's like, I'm not sure that's going to happen, but still, yeah.
I like that there's a guy. I would have liked the guy to walk up and just, as this security guard's like looking at this floating spaceship type of thing, and just have the guy go, "Wow, look at our weather balloon. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?" Yeah,
I tell you what,
weather balloon.
The spaceship holds up so well. It holds up so well. The special effects, and it's because they made a life-size spaceship, obviously. Which is why it doesn't look out of place. But the special effects in this, I mean, even if you don't like the kind of Paul Rubens bits towards the end, inside the spacecraft looks really good as well. The only slightly dodgy thing is the Muppets, but I mean, you can forgive that. But I
can kind of forgive it.
Yeah.
Again, it's not. It's the difference between a strong science fiction film meant for adults and children to a children's movie. That little finger puppet thing that he's got.
Yeah.
I could do without that completely.
There's absolutely no need for that other than pandering to an imaginary children audience. Yeah.
And that's fine. I did like the eyeball creature. I don't know why. It just kind of appeals to me, this just giant eyeball.
That
and
says,
it just screams eye, which, where's its mouth, honestly.
Yeah. And that horse face creature as well, that was quite good. Oh, sorry, that was Sarah Jessica Parker. Sorry, I got it confused.
Oh, lowering yourself to Sarah Jessica Parker jokes. I forgot she was in this. I didn't even know she was in it. So when she came up in the credits, I was like, really? And then and then she kind of showed up, and I was like, oh, there you go.
She was
Sarah
good,
Jessica Parker.
She was good.
Yeah, didn't realise that she was active from that kind of age, to be honest.
Yeah, she must have been in the late teens at that point, mustn't she? Or certainly early 20s
actually, in saying that, if you kind of weigh up her age now, she could have been late 20s. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, isn't it?
Why the long face?
I think from a story point of view, it's really interesting because from the kids' point of view of just waking up in 5 years or 8 years' time, it's really like it's Twilight Zone kind of Outer Limits kind of mindfuck kind of stuff, which is really interesting.
I used to put myself in that position. I used to imagine myself in this film. As I say, this must be a film I watched weekly for about 2 years. I really, it was one of the ones. I mean, I've spoken before about when we got a VHS video machine and had a kind of a number of cassettes that I recorded off the TV, and this was one of those ones, and got watched exceptionally regularly. Between the ages of kind of maybe 11 and 13, which is prime age for it, really. I very much identified with that boy.
I saw it at the cinema. When it came out, there was I saw about maybe 10, 15 films at the cinema type of thing. Police Academy 4, this, Never-Ending Story, stuff like that. It always stood out as a film because I knew it and I'd gotten the poster from the cinema, but I never watched it again. I never once watched it again.
Right.
This was the first time I watched it, so this is 20 years or something like that.
Wow.
More than 20 years.
Wow. So it won't have resonated with you at all, then, will it? I mean, well, it will. You might remember bits of it, but you won't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Whereas I'm surprised at how much influence it had on me kind of growing up, considering I didn't watch it a lot. Like, I certainly remembered like a lot of the, particularly the alien spaceship sequences. And you're right, the internal design, I guess that's always resonated with me going forward in my life. That's how I imagine an alien spaceship would look inside, type of thing. Mm-hmm. Because you're shaped by the kind of those experiences and stuff. And it's a really good film. I do have to question again, like we said, the Muppets, Paul Rubens' voice. And his name is different in this too. He's Paul something else.
Yeah, he's not cited as Paul Rubens. He's cited as somebody else. I can't remember what he is.
But the singing sequence, the Beach Boys singing sequence.
Yeah.
And all the Muppets join in, and the robots. And
Loved it.
It's
Loved it.
cringeworthy for
Loved it.
me.
No,
I just
this is.
watching it today.
I've written down.
No, watching it today.
This is where my love of the Beach Boys comes from. That's what I've written down now.
Wow, that's okay. I really hated that. Like, it really rubbed me the wrong way. I just did not like it. I would have edited that shit out.
Round, round, get around, I get around, I get around, round, round, I get around. See, I could be in that.
In saying that, from a child's point of view, though, that's, we all did embarrassing singing in the backyard at some point when we were kids. So, it's not out of place, but again, it's just a combination of the Muppets and the goddamn Paul Rubens' voice, and I kind of have issues with that. I also, again, we mentioned NASA wouldn't have been called in, so that's kind of funny. But back then, when NASA was kind of this unknown organization which just dealt with everything to do with space, but also the hospital had him.
Yeah,
and they got,
for a long
he's hooked
time,
up the machines and stuff. Yeah, they had him for a long time, and it's like, he's got projections of. Yeah, how do they even know to send the schematics of the spaceship to NASA to say some child's got this type
He's
of thing?
communicating with the computers.
With the machines. The machines would barely communicate with each other at that point. There's not a modem in sight in any of those computers. They didn't even, yet he's putting detailed schematics into them, type of thing. It's just this wonderful thing about the magic of computers back then, and whether these hospitals would have even had computers either.
No, that's right. Yeah. It's. But
I like that. I really like that in the film because it's a matter of, I think we get too caught up.
This is before the X-Files. This is before the government is against us. This is before all that stuff. This is the age of innocence.
But that's the thing, I think that's what I love about science. Like, Prometheus is a great example of kind of where everyone's up in arms about everything about. Like, I don't think there's a minute in Prometheus which hasn't gone unnoticed and complained about or argued or praised or blah blah blah. And it's just, he did this and he did that and that's important. Whereas, back in the day, you used to have these alfoil space rockets, and they would not make sense at all. And people just accept that shit and just go, wow, Flash Gordon went to this planet, there was like 4-eyed aliens there. It was amazing. Whereas today it'd be like, well, the 4-eyed aliens wouldn't have developed on that planet because there was like a binary system there and blah. It's just, sometimes it's just nice to just go, you know what, turn off. I'm just enjoying the aliens and the spaceship.
Yeah. This is very much a Steven Spielberg film. I don't know if you felt that. This very much fits into that kind of category of films that he used to make. It's probably a Steven Spielberg ripoff, to be honest. It's probably
wasn't
a cash in on something. Yeah, Explorers.
Wasn't Explorers Spielberg? Because Explorers is the other one. I didn't actually see that as a kid. I saw that probably as a teen. And was not as taken with it as I could have been, but simply because it wasn't aimed at me. But Explorers is that ultimate, because it was the ultimate kind of kid fantasy in that fact that they gave them the technology to build a spaceship out of garbage cans and blah blah blah. So it didn't matter what they actually built. That bubble would go around it, and they were able to go into space. So it was that whole dream of building your cubby house in the backyard using wood, and this bubble would protect it, type of thing, and take it into space. And that's what I guess this fulfills the same type of thing, because anyone could be abducted by the alien and taken forward, and this could have happened. You didn't need any prerequisite. You didn't need to be a genius. You didn't need to be it was just a regular kid, and I think that's really important for some of these films.
And that's what these 80s kids films do best, I think. Is regular kids doing regular things, as opposed to now where all the kids want to be pop stars. It's all focused around being stars and things like that, whereas back then it was all focused about adventure and things, and that's really what they did.
Back then, and it sounds awful to say it out loud like this, but back then you didn't need to be talented.
Yeah.
You didn't need to be the sci-fi genius in order to go into space, because you just needed to be a regular kid who just happens to be walking. In my opinion, I wouldn't let my kid. I don't have kids, but Jones, I wouldn't let him walk through the forest like that. not on his own. I guess it's a different time. But you can imagine reading the newspaper story the next day. Oh, a kid goes missing in giant forest between house and city, and you're like, yeah, what time of night was this? 8:30 at night. It was dark and stuff like that. Oh yeah, he got kidnapped, eh? Didn't see that coming. It's simpler times.
But again, an age of innocence.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was no fewer abductions back then as there are now either. That's it. That's the thing. It's just you had the
less forest now though.
That's true.
Less forest, so we've
thing,
taken care of that problem.
Keep taking down them forests. Yeah, Explorers was a year before Flight of the Navigator, and
was it?
It was Joe Dante rather than Spielberg. But
that's Joe Dante's that same stable though, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, the kind of I don't know what they call them. There must have been a collective name for those that group of
Spielbergians.
Yeah,
like Zemeckis and stuff like that. So.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're exactly right though on the spaceship. It completely holds up as far as design-wise is concerned.
It's a beautiful thing, actually. It's very beautiful. Well, it reminds me very much of the Naboo Royal spaceship in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, no, that's true. And actually, and just even just the design of it's just very clever, and it's as good as any design now. Dan, what do you think of them making a remake of it though?
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, and they've got a director and everything. They're doing it. It's not one of those rumored things where we go, oh, they're making a remake of this, and we all go, oh, and then it doesn't happen, and we all go, yay. It's one of those. They actually are doing it.
I don't think modern film audiences, especially modern children's film audiences, are tolerant of the slow build-up.
I don't think you'll have it. I think you'll get probed.
Yeah.
I think there are these terrifying flashbacks to when he was actually on the aliens, because we never see the aliens. We don't know what they look like.
No, it's just the drone robot thing, isn't it? No,
but they couldn't do that today. They wouldn't let that go today. See, this is what we were saying about when we watched The Thing. We were saying, the way the film The Thing finishes. There's no way films today can do that. They just can't control themselves. No. It can't just finish abruptly like that and just leave you going, oh, but what the? Because it's the finale of Lost is a great example of people just flipping out because they didn't get all the answers handed to them. And whatever you think of the actual storyline, this whole one of the major complaints was, oh, but they didn't explain everything, and it's like, but you don't. That's what you've got a brain for. That's why you watch this, so you can actually turn around and go, well, I wonder what the aliens would have looked like, or blah blah blah. You don't need it all spoon-fed to you, and I've got a feeling I'm worried that that's what they'll do with a slick remake of this, or they'll do it stupid. We can't seem to find that balance.
No. This film walks that line between an adult film and a kids film, and it's very much more of an adult film at the beginning and more of a kids film at the end, and there is that slight jarring change of gear in kind of 2/3 of the way in where it does switch between the two, but I don't think modern film audiences will tolerate that kind of dichotomy. I don't think.
Or would they? But that's the thing. Would they, or do the studios just assume they wouldn't and don't deliver that?
Yeah, maybe. I think the critics would. The critics would. Don't get me wrong, but but I'm not sure my daughter would.
Yeah. So your daughter's the problem that we're dealing with here.
Yeah. I watched this in two halves. I watched the first half and the second half. Basically, I watched it where it did change that gear.
That was a good order to do it in, man.
Yeah. Well,
when I watch halves, I like to watch the first half, then the second half. I'm funny like that.
But I watched the second half with my son, my 6-year-old son, and he very much enjoyed it. But I don't think he could have sat through the first bit. Far too subtle. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's almost an adult science fiction film. That's the thing. It's just so close to that, and that's what I guess I really loved. The adult science fiction film. I love a good, solid, suspension of disbelief kind of science fiction film for adults. But this really dipped under that point.
But the other thing is how many? It's not aimed at 6-year-old. That's the point. How many kids films these days are aimed at 12-year-olds? None. Absolutely none. There's no films these days aimed at a 12, 13-year-old. They're either sneaking into 15s or 12s, basically, and watching a grown-up Transformers, for example, something aimed at just mindlessness, or they're watching Wreck-It Ralph, or whatever's coming out of the Pixar stable, which have adult themes, but I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph. No.
I was about to say, I was going to ask you about it, because I've seen Wreck-It Ralph and I didn't think as much of it as everyone else is, and I'd be interested to hear your take on it.
No, it's still too expensive for me. So yeah, we've got someone else coming in now.
Yeah, but I worked out how to mute straight off, so I'm muting people left, right, and centre.
Marvelous. So yeah. I think there's no films these days made for that audience, and that's the audience that this is aimed at, is a 13-year-old child, and it does it very well because they can tolerate that adult theme, but they like the bit of the kids thing at the end, which is fine. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, I really love the film. I will give that, because I think I have a friend who loves this film. Who thinks, apart from yourself, obviously, I'm not describing you to see, I like this guy. No, I have another friend who really loves this film, and he'd say that a couple of times. He said, when are you going to do Flight of the Navigator? Because that film is amazing. And I'm like, I don't remember it being that great. And so I was a bit resistant type of thing going up to this. Curious though, because it'd been so long since I've seen the film.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, and I guess we're getting close to where we're going score-wise now. And I'm actually happy to jump into scores straight away.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. I actually give it an 8 out of 10. Now, I give it an 8 out of 10. The 2 points that it's losing are really around Pee Wee Herman's voice and the Beach Boys part, which is, again, around Pee Wee Herman's voice, to be honest. That whole sequence is really just... And the Muppets. The Muppets, to me, it's a bit too much of a stretch. The thing that he actually has when he goes back in time, and it's the one point that I think... it's a bit of a cop-out. If it was a Twilight Zone episode or it was the Outer Limits, he would never have remembered anything.
Yeah.
He would have just gone back in time, or he would have no proof. That would have been it, type of thing. But having that little alien, which is just a biohazard problem just waiting to happen.
Spoken like a true Australian, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This thing, we don't know what bacteria it has going on, and we don't know how to care for it. And the moment it's identified by the government or
NASA, we've got the same problem all over again, where they're crawling all over him and stuff like that. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there is that aspect of it. So I didn't, and the kid, the annoying. Have you ever dealt with an annoying 6-year-old, sibling, who you just go shh to,
and they just
and they just go, and they have the savvy to go, yeah, no, I'm keeping button on this. Don't worry about that, son. They wouldn't say son because that seems to be an older thing to say, but they don't. They also go, what's that? Quiet, don't tell anyone.
Mom,
what is it, Mom? He's got a thing in his bag, and it's just it's one of those things, and it would never last. It's like that's why E.T. was E.T. just hangs on by a very thin thread, because Gertie, you see them all through the film, really having to bully her and to keep her towing the party line, and I like that because it's real. It wasn't real in the fact that she'd snap straight away and go straight to Mum. That's just the way that would have been. But at least they gave the pretense that they were doing something to try and keep this child under control. Whereas with that, it's just like on the boat, for God's sakes. It's like, oh, biohazard creature coming out. And the kid's like, what's that? Yeah.
Well,
that's my impression of that kid.
There may have been other stuff. There may have been other stuff going on there.
The kid just goes, we
don't know what happened afterwards. It was only like 2 seconds.
Well, Yeah, that's true.
I did like the changing dynamic between the two after he met his younger brother when he was older.
I have a problem with that. Nice. No, I have a problem with that.
Here we go.
Because the younger brother didn't go through that journey.
No.
Only one half went through the. You've been reasonable to a sibling before.
No, I really haven't.
Yes, you have. You have. And were they reasonable back? No, it doesn't happen like that. It's like, you know what? I'm going to take the higher ground, and I'm going to be mature about this, and go, and treat my sibling with respect and like an adult. Blah. And then they go, nah, back at you, and you just go, okay, this is bullshit. I'm going to pull their hair. That's what that would have. That younger kid is not just going, he's treating me with respect. I'm gonna behave myself now. It's just it doesn't happen that way.
I once broke my sister's arm, and she voluntarily just suddenly said to Mum, "Oh, I fell over."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is this a revelation that's never come out?
Yeah. Well, no, my sister's aware of it, and I'm aware of it. But yeah, she just said, I pushed her over. I didn't intend to break her arm. It wasn't an intentional thing, but I pushed her over, and and she just said to Mum, "Ow, I've hurt my arm. I fell over."
Revelations. It's just that's. I never broke my sister's arm. That's one for me.
You just need to get on that shit right now.
No, that's points to me. I think when people start going, well, I've got to mute.
It's very rude.
Yeah, it is rude, but Cal, he's going to be going. I kept coming in and I couldn't say anything. I don't understand what's wrong with these people. The reason why is very distracting, and Dan should not have invited anyone.
Well, I didn't know. I thought they might be able to chat in the sidebar. You can get it so you can get it so they automatically are muted when they come in. We'll have to do that next time.
Yeah. Well, also you do it no matter. I think it's an event. You can do it as an event so people can watch and.
Right.
Rather than doing it as this, so we'll do that in the future. We apologise for everyone who's come in and didn't. We just can't kind of
focus
we couldn't keep doing.
We have to stare at each other's bloody ugly faces, and it's bad enough having IM turn up unexpectedly.
Yeah,
that's the last thing.
With his camera in his bag of some rubbish.
In his groin, I think it was.
He used to do that to us on Skype too. We'd ring him, and he'd be like, he'd be typing away saying, "Oh, sorry guys, my microphone's not here." So why did you answer?
Justin's telling me he's going to make rude gestures at us when he gets his camera working in the chat room.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. We've got people in here without cameras, and they,
Yeah.
You're trying to get in on the action.
Poorly prepared. Very poorly prepared. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm quick on the mute button. Sorry. Yes.
I'm giving this film a 10 because all the problems that you say, I can certainly appreciate them, but for me, they were part of the nostalgia of it. So while I do agree they probably detract from the film as a whole, they added to my sense of nostalgia. So I don't care.
No, I see that. No, and I completely, I think that's valid. So, sorry, what was your score again? I got distracted by the chat thing.
10.
10?
Yes, 10.
That's perfect. That's a perfect film, then, you're saying?
It is a perfect film.
Bruce Willis wasn't in this film.
It's awesome. It's an awesome film.
I'm just saying, Bruce Willis wasn't in this film, and that's usually your sign of a perfect film.
That's it. Yeah. No,
now, the 10 for Dan, 8 for me. I think we can say all around, Flight of the Navigator. That's a win. I think if you haven't seen it for a long time, go and see it again. It's worth it. I don't know how kids would hold up in the film, as Dan said. So
it'd have to be an older age kid, I think.
Maybe it's for those romantic nights when you and the missus are there, and you just want to watch a nice film together with Sarah Jessica Parker in it. You can say it like that. You say, "Darling, do you want to watch a Sarah Jessica Parker film tonight?" And she goes, "Yeah, honey," thinking
hey,
she's going to see.
This is an emotional film. This is a touching film. This shows this shows you're not feminine side, but you're in touch with your feelings. Kids and it's about growing up and the way things change within your families and
Yeah.
I thought the mother was very
sure.
good. She looked very, very emotionally drained previously. So so there you go.
Now I just read in the chat that Callum's actually got his foil over his webcam at the moment, just in case the aliens are attacking his webcam or something.
He's naked. Let's face it, he's naked.
Well, I don't mean to dwell on the chats that are going on in the sidebar, but why would one have foil on hand to put over their webcam? Has got me beat anyway. So
this dog is a pain in the ass. I'm going to go and look him
out.
Well, see,
where's Jones? I've got Jones at my feet. He's just wrapped around my... Oh, he's gone. That's how well behaved Jones was.
I'm going to look out the car. You can see...
What?
Oh, you might be able to see my
can't do that.
Door with the curtain on it, look. There's a famous door with a curtain on it. Marvellous.
Yeah.
I'll take you on a tour of the house later. That's what you have to do when you got webcam, and everyone goes, "Oh, very nice, yeah. You live in a shithole."
Yeah.
I'm going to just shut the dog out of the room. Cover for me.
Okay, this is uncool, man. Really uncool. Because I don't know if you saw the footage then, because I know that it's jumping between things, but Dan's ass crack is truly to behold there. So yeah, apologise for this. We can watch Dan moving that around. No good for you listening to the podcast. Dan, I'll wait till his headphone. Dan, I'm putting a new rule into the Midnight Movie Club too. Right? I know we're not big on rules and stuff like that, but we're going to go with a no ass crack rule from here on in. So I see you have a belt. I want you to pull it one notch tighter and up.
I've lost a lot of weight.
No, I just thought I was going to get you to fix my sink for a while there. You were walking around. And I was like, yeah.
You've embarrassed me.
Hopefully, I think Gmail will actually. So Google will probably edit that somehow.
Yeah.
Because it'll be unacceptable on Facebook. Imagine that video banned on Facebook for nudity.
Yeah.
Because Dan had to bend over and carry the dog out. Yeah, there you go. See. That makes up for it.
Yeah.
So, mentioning Bruce Willis, you see how I mentioned Bruce Willis before?
Yeah.
And also, we've talked about, Bruce Willis. We'll just stick, okay. It's very hard because Dan's now going through the special effects. We at the Midnight Movie Club, we know that in recent kind of ages, we've been all over the place as far as making sure, a lot of life stuff going on. But we're committed to getting more podcasts out, and we've already planned the next 2 films. I'm not going to tell you what the films are.
Oh.
Because that's too easy.
Are we meant to be doing a Star Wars thing? Is that after we've done
No, we're not doing that. No, we gave them the ass.
Exactly.
We're doing a Bruce Willis doubleheader. Now, I won't tell you which Bruce Willis films. There are 2 Bruce Willis films we'll be doing. I don't know which one's which first, but we're doing 2 Bruce Willis films, and they will be the next 2 movies that we podcast about.
Yes.
So, go crazy. Try and guess which Bruce Willis films we'll be doing. Bearing in mind we've already done Die Hard 3.
We didn't know Die Hard, didn't we? I thought we did know that. No, we didn't go to Die Hard, did we? We did Die Hard 3. Yeah. We did
Die Hard 3. Yeah. And just on a side note, I've seen the reviews for Die Hard 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it looks shocking.
I feel justified in what I'm saying.
Hudson Hawk is a damn fine film, I'll have you know.
Oh, we've seen Hudson Hawk, yeah.
Have we done Hudson Hawk? Yeah, we did.
We have.
Done Justin Hawk. Done Hudson Hawk, Justin, so screw you. It's a good film. I think I gave it a 10.
It's an excellent film. I think it got very high marks, actually, from memory, so, yeah. So that's what we're doing. So, now, depending on how this turns out, whether or not, it's really a success. Okay, I'm ashamed of that. Fair enough. I am ashamed.
I love it.
Yeah. Or if it's a failure, we may or may not be back to just audio only podcasting. But if not, we'll try and set this up so it's a bit. So it's what I think Google calls an event, so that you guys can actually watch and talk and carry on without actually jumping in directly into the conversation, so that we have to scramble and try and kick you out. So
not that we don't enjoy people being on and stuff, but
no, we just don't want it in this manner.
Yeah, we need it to be more planned because also it throws out timing and things. We're a very well-oiled machine here on the Midnight Movie Podcast.
Yeah. We will be doing it on weekends too, so that hard-working people who are working hard can waste their weekends watching us early in the morning or late one evening, or in the middle of the day, depending on which part of the world you're in. We really wanted to do. This is something we were excited to do because it's like the next step in what we do as far as involving you guys, and and also it means that every once in a while we have to scrub up a little bit.
Yeah, I got this T-shirt on especially.
See, whereas and I brushed my hair, which was which could have easily. That's. See, the sad thing is because I'm talking, so you can't actually probably see Dan flexing his guns, as we'll probably say them.
I think they can see it on the bottom. I'm not sure. We'll have to see on YouTube when it comes out. Yeah. So that's cool. So we'll split the video and we'll have the video online. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you think it's a good idea to do this or not. I mean, to be honest, the audio of this is going to go out like a regular podcast anyway. So we're not going to move to video or anything like that. It's just this is another. Seeing as though we're here and talking, we thought we might as well stick it on. I saw another podcast doing it. I thought that looks like good fun, so we'll do.
There's my dog in the background.
Oh,
who just
Is he better? He was poorly, wasn't he?
He is better. Yes, he had an operation, and I didn't tell you about that. It was awful. He had an operation. He had a lump removed. He's pretty old. He's a boxer, and they get like cancerous lumps apparently, which I think probably that should be part of the sales pitch when they're starting it. 8 or 9 years from now, you'll be cutting things out of your dog, so just deal with that. So he had this giant lump cut out, and I'm thinking to myself, because our pets have always been pretty good. They've never needed. They're all self-healed. Like, arm falls off, they grow back and stuff like that. It's really good. So this is the first major operation I've had to have with a dog, and so I'm thinking the stitches are going to look terrifying. And I'm picturing in my head, the worst human stitches you've ever seen, puckered and kind of, and pus and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, and I realize, he's got dark skin, so it's not going to look that bad, and it's not going to look red and blah, blah, blah. But what they actually did was they stuck a drainage tube through the stitches. So what happens is all the pus and blood and whatever drains out, which, it sounds great. Not. When the vet's explaining this to us, we're going, right.
So what happens to the...
Well, no, it just falls out. So we're in the vet office, and so there's a pool of blood and pus underneath the dog, and we're going, he's got to go in the car. Could you not perhaps give us a tissue or something? And then we're just completely unprepared. And so for 4 days, because that's how long it had to be in there for, we're basically walking around the house like zombies, like following this poor dog around. He's basically got a hole in his stomach with a tube in it, just dripping his stomach out into the floor, and we're just freaking out.
Can you put like a nappy in it or something, like a diaper?
Well, that's literally I'm saying to Trace, let's go and get some of those women's sanitary pads and just strap it to the end, because that'll do the job.
It would. And that's what they do with dogs who are going through
menstrual
cycles, aren't they?
Well,
they do that.
See, this is the thing. I don't know. I've never had a non-desexed dog, so I don't know why I'm looking at him, because I don't want him getting embarrassed that I'm talking about him. But he seems to be okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, so he's fine. So we just, but it was like, so there was constant kind of where we'd flip out, and basically Tracy goes, I don't know if we're doing the right thing, and I'm like, oh well, when we get, because she's like worried that the vet's going to give us some lecture when we get back in there saying, well, you haven't done this right, and I was like, well, it must be all those years of veterinary nursing that we didn't do. It's just, we were completely unprepared for this thing, and we don't know what. We think that they just saw us coming and went. But I tell you what, the stitches are nothing now. Like, once you have that tube oozing crap out of it, the stitches are nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're a joy to look at. I could pick at his stitches for hours and it wouldn't worry me. But the tube, oh my God, it's a hole in your dog. It's not good. And they're keeping it open. Sorry to end on that note, people.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's still there.
They took the tube out. I was so happy. Because we had a booking at the vet for 11 o'clock on Sunday to take him in and get the tube out. And Trace rang up the day after. Well, no, it's all part of the post-op or whatever. Trace calls up and just goes, is there any way we can book in earlier? And they went, there's a 9 o'clock, fine. Because on the day, before we'd seen the tube, Trace is like, oh, we want to sleep in on Sunday, though. I was like, yeah, damn right. Yeah, no, screw him. We'll take him in on... Oh, this tube can't be that bad. And then they bring him out, and it was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then, and we were just white, and we're just saying, oh, my God, over and over again for 4 days. And then Sunday morning there was a jig happening. There was a tube being removed jig that Trace and I orchestrated, and we were doing this and then they bring the dog out, and of course because they just took a tube out of the damn thing. Do they put a Band-Aid over it? I get a paper cut, I put a Band-Aid over it. They didn't do anything, so there's just blood and crap dropping out of this hole where the tube used to be. And the vet nurse, who I'm not questioning, vet nurses, I'm sure it's something you have to study hard at, but I don't know if she did. Because she was like, and we're like, could we have a bandage, please? Like, I don't mind if you just give it to me. I'll put it on him. Oh, yeah, well, he's dripping a lot of blood all over your floor. Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he? Yes, because you just took a tube out of him. I'm like, I'm not a genius, but that's, I would have picked that. If you pull something out of something, it's going to leave a hole, and that hole's going to drip stuff if it's like a bag of flesh and blood. So yeah, it was stressful, Dan.
I've got an incompetent nurse story for you, but I'm the incompetent nurse in the story.
Well, there you go.
I'm not actually sure if I should tell it, to be honest, because I'm not sure how it involves me. It involves me injecting someone in the ass and then hitting a capillary by mistake and having blood shoot all up my arm. But yeah, it wasn't my finest hour. It was quite.
Well, hang on a second. Yeah, don't tell that story, Dan, because it sounds disgusting. Oh, except you kind of really did then, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you'd like Dan to tell that full story, write into us. I'm sure we could organise it.
That's about it. But, yeah.
That's horrible. Dan.
It did shock me. I don't do many injections, and it did shock me. I should have been wearing.
I really hope the reaction was, "Oh, you fucking what?" As you looked at this blood pissing out everywhere.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's in his ass, so he's got his back to me, standing up in his dressing gown with his ass hanging out. Yeah, but I really shouldn't tell that story. I could get fired for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Then you can't edit it because you're live. Yeah, see, that's the beauty of this, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
All your Eskimo hatred. Now, just before we go, I want to say hello to somebody on Facebook.
Oh my god! Yep.
Because now our advertising campaign has gone for Midmo Club. We have people who aren't being bought to like us. Coming to like us again.
Yeah.
Dan O'Neill. He looks like a genuine person. He looks 12, but I'm sure that's an old picture of himself. And and he's got some people who I'm guessing are from some form of Walking Dead shenanigans going on there, giving us the finger on his timeline. Yeah.
Yes, they're people from Walking Dead.
Not us particularly, but they're definitely
They are giving the finger. You are right. Yes.
Yes.
I'm confirming that. They are giving the finger.
That's fine. I'm desperately going to the iTunes store, but I'm not sure that's a good idea.
No.
Because I can't be asked looking. I should have prepared in advance for that. Now I've lost you. See, you're behind a load of windows, so I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, sorry. What happened?
No, you're there. It's just I've lost the window you're in. Is what I'm saying. I can't see your glorious face. There you are. Right. Okay. So that's about it from us, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, marvellous. That went all right. Much better than the first time we tried it.
The first time we tried it was a unmitigated disaster because apparently the UK has no internet structure going on.
Not in Manchester. The entire Manchester blew up, apparently. I rang up the customer services at midnight, and they answered the phone straight away and said, Manchester's blown up.
We're sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Did they just answer with, we're sorry?
Yeah. Well, if they'd have put Manchester's blown up on their service webpage thing that I got to on my phone, I would have known, but they didn't, so...
Maybe they thought it was facetious of them to put it on the web when everyone didn't have internet access.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Who knows?
Cool. So we have tried this before, and we'll see how it goes. And we are starting to ramble, so we're going to pull it to a stop there. I'd like to thank everyone who gate crashed. I apologise to everyone that I muted and ignored.
Do you know Helen Eastwood?
Not personally, no.
No, I don't know. Do you want to make any friends?
No.
Is it male or female? Are they male or female, Lee?
Male? Yeah, no, we do know him. He's online. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, male.
You say, do I know someone? And it's like, yeah. Well, no, I don't. But yeah, I know them online. I don't know them in real life.
You don't know me in real life, you idiot.
Well, that's true.
And you know I'm male. What? Eh? What? Anyway.
I don't know. The chat is not something we should look at. So anyway, but with this new video system, next time we visit a forum, and just trawl through reading the forum, I reckon this will add a whole new dimension to it. It's like 3D for the podcasting.
Well, you can get it to look at your screen, can't you? Let's have a look.
Yeah. So
how do you do that?
So from now, no, don't. We're not doing that this week. But there'll be one week where I go back to the Pacey forums.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be like 3D.
Well, not 3D.
So,
no.
You'll see
the
it's like
forum.
equivalent. This is the equivalent of 3D. It's a cheap, nasty gimmick in trying to get people to pay more money, but no one's,
Okay, let's call it a day. Right, thank you very much for listening to us and watching us, if you've been watching us. We'll be back, hopefully, within the next week or two. You can follow us over Facebook on facebook.com/
If you've never heard of this thing called Facebook, Google it. You might be pleasantly surprised.
Midnight Movie Club. Facebook.
We also have
Midnight Movie Club.
We have a Google Plus community, but I don't understand it at all.
No,
so,
we just did that for this Hangout thing. I
and then Dan ignored it completely.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to do I? But
I don't know what to do either.
I just start Hangout, and it started. They looked all right to me.
I clicked a link, and it just came through, and I was like, "Yes, that's it. That's all I got."
So yeah, if you join that, if somehow we work out how to, then that might be
Let us know how.
That might be where we pull our audience from, so we could invite the entire circle, and the first 9 to come in can watch us. Maybe I don't know how it works.
No. Because what it is, it's the event. We could have millions of viewers around the world. Dan.
It says 0 viewers here on my little screen there.
Yeah, because we're not running it as an event.
Okay.
But if you were running it as an event, you could have 0. You could put 1 in front of that 0, and we could have, thousands of people, millions.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. The entire internet is at our feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So follow us on Facebook. That's the best place to go. You can follow us on Twitter, but we're never there. You can go and see Lee on his blog, which is shortstormtrooper.com.
Yep. Sure.
Yep. And me on my blog, which is cabbagedan.com. CabbageDan.com. Yeah.
But don't go to either of those sites because no one else does.
No, that's true. That's it. Okay. Goodbye. I'm pressing end broadcast. I don't know if it's working.